Okay. All right. And let's see here. Dawn, you got us recording on your end too? Okay. All right. So, welcome back to the amazing marathon, the book launch for Building Bridges of Hope. This is an amazing, this is book number two of our anthology. We did last year, we did book number one, became international best-selling. Dawn is our statistician. She's the one that's keeping track of when we hit number one best-selling in it and in what category. And last year, we've already surpassed the number one best-selling. We got it done in a fraction of the time last year, which what's really amazing is this is Black Friday. And we thought, well, we realized there's so much competing for the attentions of people on Black Friday, with family, with shopping and sports and all that. So for us to become number one best-selling is a huge, huge accomplishment. For considering what we did last year, and we've improved the book this year in that we've got 22 authors contributing. Last year we had 18. We also have added certain sections in the book and more importantly, we've added a huge resource section in the back of the book. And many of our advocates and partners have said that alone makes it way, way, way valuable because anybody who finds themselves in this situation of child custody conflict, that's the first thing that they need is resources, and they don't know where to look. So we're going to interview Carolyn, and as one of our authors. I want you to, Carolyn, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to come and help be part of this book launch and help us to become number one best-selling
My
on
pleasure.
Amazon. And first of all, I wanted to ask you, give me a little bit of background of who you are, so that our viewers can understand who you are, and then we'll talk about a little bit more about your chapter.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to collaborate with so many wonderful and professional hearts that are focused on helping families. I'm a Catholic divorce healing coach, and I'm the founder of Abounding Joy Ministry, which serves men and women who are navigating marital stress, separation, or divorce. And my work really grew out of my own experience as a child of divorce and later walking through a painful 30-year marriage breakdown. And God really transformed that journey into a calling to help other people to find peace and deep spiritual healing. And so, Abounding Joy offers a blend of faith-based coaching and mediation style communication tools and emotional healing resources. And we partner with parishes and dioceses to support individuals and to strengthen families and to provide a compassionate response to the isolation that so many Catholics feel when their marriages struggle or fail. And really, at its heart, Abounding Joy it exists to help people encounter healing, to help their families, and to find Christ's love in the middle of their pain, and really to discover that hope, reconciliation, and new life are always possible.
Well, that's wonderful. I know many of us have struggled who came from a faith community, have struggled to feel sort of alone and isolated, and especially if it's in a high conflict kind of custody situation or separation, there is that experience of the community not necessarily being a safe space for them to turn to for resources. So,
Exactly.
and yeah, I'm not committed to that. I'm committed that I think that through education, and even maybe some training, in with some of those, the lay community in the churches, that they are given the resources to support families going in crisis. Because really, where are you gonna turn if you're going through divorce, um, or child custody situations? Your church family should be a safe place to go to.
Yes. Mhm.
So, what's the one message you hope readers will take from your chapter?
Yeah, great question. So I would say the core message of my chapter is that healing and cooperation are possible, even in the midst of separation or divorce. And, parents don't have to, and they're not going to agree on everything to give their children a peaceful and grace-filled home. They just need to lead with charity and clarity and emotional balance. And when we choose humility over hostility, and when we put the child's well-being over above our hurt, it opens the door to better communication and healthier patterns. And so even small shifts like good boundaries, better listening, a prayer before speaking, all these can dramatically reduce the tension in our families. And I want readers to walk away knowing that their choices can break cycles. They can protect your children and can create a legacy of love. And there are so many resources available out there to help with that.
Yeah, we had an author, in our first book who worked with her faith community. Do you remember that, Dawn? Oh, I'm gonna forget. She's from her she is in the Jewish faith, and that was her thing, is to make sure that she
From book
provided a
one.
support system. Yeah, supports. I'll tell you, I've got the book right here.
Hey, hey.
Um,
Hmm, you
it's
got it.
hold on. Oh, Adina Leibowitz. Now, see, I can't even see me there.
There you go.
Adina uh, Leibowitz. She wrote some amazing stuff. She's also a mediator and a coach that works within her own faith community to provide healing. So they are there, but I'll tell you, it was my experience that it's taken a while for even the mental health community to really be solidly educated on parental alienation and all the underhanded, the kind of the nastiness of child custody conflict, and the ruthlessness of all of that happening. Even the mental health community, um, we found we had to educate them on what to
Mhm,
look for and what you do about it.
mhm,
And especially in the religious, I know for me, I used to teach a Bible study at my church. It was an 8-week study written by Ron Deal, and it was called Smart Step Families. And I found it was an amazing curriculum, but I also found that the church, it was a little like, it was uncomfortable for them to allow, maybe it was just the acknowledgement of divorce.
It's hard.
In the
Yeah.
faith community.
It
Hmm.
is because we want to think that through our faith that divorces don't happen. And, marriage being a sacred covenant, that, when we go to the altar and we say, until death do us part, for better, for worse, we don't want to be in a situation where we're having to face that, that marriages, the marital relationships are not surviving. And so that's part of the work that I've been doing, is to create awareness and to say, we know what the ideal is, we know what God's plan for marriage is, and right now we need to minister and accompany people before, during, and after divorce, before hoping to save marriages, which, sometimes that happens, thank God. But sometimes, 50% of people who divorce or more are, really don't want that. And 50% of people aren't in control of that divorce happening. And so, there's at least 50% that need ministering to, or maybe are open to ministering to, and the others, part of them as well.
Yeah, it's interesting because having friends who are not in this, who've never they're in an intact marriage, everything's great, and a lot of times they just don't know what to do. They don't know how they should feel about us essentially being in the divorce space. Um, they really don't want to even acknowledge that, like, it doesn't happen. They don't want it to happen. But you're right, the statistics are right there. And the fact of the matter is, divorce, it's the the trauma, the sin is not necessarily in the divorce, it's in the uh how did you go about it? Who is traumatized by how you managed it? Because what I truly believe is that if you split harmoniously, that leaves space for a future reconciliation in a healthy way to kind of like rebuild the home on, you know, in a healthy way. Because you're going to be co-parents.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I always tell people this person that you're not getting along with, you are going to be doing business with them for the rest of your natural life when you have children together. So let's try to create some amicable relationship, even a civil business type relationship. The business is the raising of the children in the healthiest way possible. So, a divorce, they think, oh, as soon as I'm divorced, I'm rid of this person. No, that's not the way we need to think about it because they are a co-parent and we can't erase them.
that is so true. I know that, I've worked with clients who it is really quite sad because they do what they think that is right. They hire an attorney, but an attorney who is, you know, I remember like was in the initial filing for divorce, they said, we want every possession, 100% of the kids. Like, I mean, just think about
Mm,
everything. And that's what their demand was, is everything and you get nothing.
mm,
And, when I talked to the client, I said, did you write this up? Well, my attorney said that this had to be included. And I said,
mm.
well, how did that work for you? Well, it caused an instant distrust with his co-parent. Of course.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, you've already, it's hard to put that back, take that away and bring it back. I mean, once it's said, it's said. And
Mhm.
so sadly, now they end up in an uphill climb just to get back to the way it was before that, before the attorney kind of
Mhm. Yeah.
said what they said.
That is such a sad situation, and it's not uncommon that whatever problems the couple had before divorce, once attorneys get involved, the acrimony and the ugliness just, increases so much. And that's why I created one of the tools, which is an open door invitation, because sometimes the communication has broken down so badly that they can't even talk to each other. And so I'm, trying to bring them back together with some safe beginnings to create a bridge, a bridge of hope and a bridge of communication to reestablish communication, not only for the good of them, the husband and wife, but especially for the children.
Mhm. So why do you think strengthening co-parenting and family bonds is so important right now in society?
Yeah, I think strengthening family bonds is essential because the family is the first community where a child learns trust, love, and learning their identity as God's beloved child. Um, Pope St. John Paul II said that the family is the basic cell of society. And when that cell is healthy, then children flourish and society flourishes. And so, even when parents are no longer together, their ability to remain united in purpose gives children the stability and the safety that they need to grow emotionally healthy and spiritually and even academically. And strong family bonds reduce the conflict and anxiety and the long-term wounds. And they are, with the children, they often are very long-term. And ultimately, when we nurture those relationships, it's an act of stewardship. We are literally shaping the hearts and the futures of the children that God has entrusted to us. And that is a sacred duty. And it's something that I think is worth my time to contribute to. And as all of the co-authors have contributed to, it is really no greater work than this.
Absolutely, 100%. So what gives you hope for families who are struggling today?
Well, hope is a virtue. It's a theological virtue. It's so important. And two things really gives me hope for families. Um, there's greater awareness and there's more effective tools. So, first of all, I'm seeing so many parents choosing healing over hostility. And I see this every day in my clients. More and more moms and dads are recognizing that they have a part to play and that they're willing to put the work in to grow and to learn to communicate better and to protect their children's peace, even when it's difficult. And it is very difficult. There's no doubt about that. And I also see a growing openness to faith-based support and to coaching and community, which gives families real tools for navigating the conflict and to do so with virtue and emotional maturity. And every day in my ministry, I witness hearts that are softening, co-parenting relationships improving, and therefore children thriving as their parents work together. And secondly, the tools. There's so many more resources out there today. Like this book is going to be a beautiful resource, a very effective resource for families in the work that so many of the co-authors are doing. And with Abounding Joy, there's coaching, there's workshops, support groups, webinars, and content to really help support and heal struggling families. And above all, I have hope because the Holy Spirit is always at work. He's quietly restoring, reconciling, and renewing families in ways that only God can.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being part of our launch, being part of our book. Um, and yeah, just so grateful for you. Grateful for
Thank
you.
you,
You represent a
Danica,
community.
Don, and
Yeah.
John. Thank you all for the important work that you have done in bringing together all of these great co-authors and in living your lives, putting all that effort in to really try to strengthen families. And I just am so grateful for all of you. Thank you so much.
Right.
We're glad to have you as part of this chapter. I think, or this book, it's important to bring people with the different backgrounds and different experiences because somebody out there needs to hear your voice. And that's what's great about collaborations like this is it's one book, but it's such a resource for anybody reading it. They're going to be able to relate to some or many of the authors that are in this book. And it really brings a lot of that the resources, but a lot of those experiences that someone can really say, hey, that's me. And I
Yeah.
identify with that. And now I know what to do. Now I have a name. Now I know who to call. And that's what's brilliant about what you're doing. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
And you're truly, an architect of change, helping families, not only Catholic families, but all faiths, from around the world. So your development of what you're doing, for Build a No Life workshop and the tools that you represent and you bring to this book are going to have an impact on so many readers. So we're grateful for your contributions, Carolyn. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
John. Appreciate you.
Okay, I'm gonna pause the recording.